Hi, hello, what's up, and welcome to all my viewers from around the world. The sun is shining and the magpie is casting, coming at you with another 1v1 live game, featuring today, sporting in the north, the USF forces of IIPLIICaptainSPrice. Again, a returning player who's featured in many recent videos on the channel. Always glad to have CaptainSPrice back, and it just so happens that he is featuring in again the top-rated game on the live games lobby. So, we've seen him play on this map before, in fact, so let's see if he does his customary rear echelon spam. Yep, looks like that's the plan. Loving it. And featuring, playing in the south, the Overcommand West forces of xi2xi, who I might just call Z, that's a bit of a mouthful. But anyway, yeah. So, Overcommand have seen some changes from the recent balance patch. Of course, that came out yesterday. The most prominent change, I think, for them is going to be the addition of the incendiary grenade onto Volks. So here we have it here, 30 munitions, lets you throw an incendiary grenade at the target area, which deals damage to infantry units. So that should be interesting. Some rear echelon troops just going to come into contact with the Schwervermacht Schlepper here. That should push it back. You don't want to take too much damage on this thing, you know. It's really inconvenient if it gets below half and then its engine breaks or something. And that can happen if you expose it to infantry fire for too long. As we correct the tactical map, we can see both forces are spreading out. CaptainSPrice now up to 5 squads of rear echelon troops. And you have to give credit where credit's due. CaptainSPrice seems to be a player who genuinely plays all the teams. The only team I've not seen him play as is Soviets. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen him playing Brits either. But he at least plays Wehrmacht, Overcommand, and America. I rather suspect he probably plays all factions, and I've just not seen him playing as the others yet. And so whilst the basic opening scuffles are taking place, I'll just take a moment to review the balance changes for Overcommand. Seeing as how I haven't done so yet on my channel. It's mostly superficial changes. The biggest change is that grenade, which I've just spoken about, so I'd love to see that. I've used it a couple of times myself, and it did seem very potent. It costs twice as much as a Molotov and has a fairly similar effect, but is definitely more intense. The damage dealt is faster. It doesn't seem to kill any models instantly. It doesn't have the critical hit that Molotovs sometimes just kill a guy or two when they go off. But it does do very heavy DPS over time. So anyway, so apparently infantry squad upgrades for Overcommand West can now be purchased anywhere on the map, in friendly territory or out. So that was always the case for the Panzerschreck upgrade on your Volks, but now that's also going to be the case for various other upgrades. We're talking here repair tools and minesweepers, we're talking here LMG-34s for your Overcommando, your Oversoldat. So yep, that should make them easier to use. Not quite sure why they decided to change that. I think it was fine before, but you know, whatever. The infrared half-track is now going to cost 5 more fuel, because obviously that was just far too good of a unit, dominating every single game. I'm being very sarcastic. I do think it should cost 5 fuel though, because you can build them and then have them killed and then salvage them to get 5 fuel, so it seems weird to get fuel out of a unit that didn't cost fuel to build. So yeah, I don't think that'll make any difference to anything ever, because nobody builds infrared half-tracks, because they're really bad. Let's see, Obersoldaten and Fallschirmjägers have a reinforced cost reduced by 10%, so that should just help make them a little more usable. I'm not sure that's going to make the biggest difference. We have enough munitions to see an incendiary grenade on this squad, so I'm just going to keep my eye on them. So yeah, that's a change. The Kugelwagen, of course, has the buff against snipers, and apparently the detection radius is going up from 10 to 25. Now, that, I believe, refers... Oh, here's the incendiary grenade. Now, let's pay close attention. That is going to get one squad wipe and force the others back. So the squad wipe was kind of like the squad was weakened and then picked off by the rifle. The squad already quite low. I think probably the regular grenade would have had the exact same effect there. So not sure that the incendiary grenade really proving its worth there. Just having the same effect as a regular grenade the old Model 24 would have done, I think. Yeah, the Kugelwagen, its detection radius, so I believe that's for the detection ability it gets at 1-star veterancy. That radius is going from 10 to 25. Now, it felt to me like the radius on that was already quite large. I kind of cheekily refer to that as cheat mode, because it's a very, very powerful ability. It doesn't cost munitions to turn on or off, and you can toggle it upward. And it just reveals all enemy infantry within quite a large radius. Now, to take that radius and multiply it by 2.5, that seems strong. So maybe an attempt there to make the Kugelwagen slightly more relevant in the later game, I'm not sure. Crucially, the Storm Tiger has been fixed in 2 ways. First of all, it actually now does the correct damage. Its AoE profile has been restored to what it ought to be, which is very powerful. And secondly, they've also fixed it so that activating crew repairs does not allow you to instantly reload and fire another shell, which was obviously a bug and totally broken. So yeah, 2 fixes there for the Storm Tiger, which should allow it to see play again as a reliable unit. So that's nice to see. King Tiger's got a slight range buff. Now I've used the King Tiger since yesterday's patch, and that is noticeable. The Tiger tank likewise has had that range buff from 40 to 45, so a 12.5% range buff. Definitely noticeable, definitely worthwhile and useful. And the Yag Tiger has had a pretty hefty cost reduction in terms of manpower and fuel and population cap, so that should make it a slightly more appealing and usable unit. So, those are pretty much the main changes. There are a few more for Overcommand, but they're pretty minor. So, those are the changes for Overcommand. As I say, the biggest change probably going to be the change to the Volksgrenadier Grenade, and of course that's a big change because, as any Overcommand player will know, getting garrisoned troops, like dealing with garrison troops, has forever been a long-standing issue with Overcommand. You don't really have any answers till the light comes out, and that's a very slow answer to garrison troops. So being able to throw incendiary grenades into buildings is going to provide Overcommand with a much better answer for garrison maxims. That's the main offender in the early game. Now let's pay attention here. See if we, oh no, he doesn't have the munitions for an incendiary grenade, so we're not going to see one here. CaptainSPrice now up to 7 squads of rear echelons. As I turn my attention back to the battle, I've got a pitched infantry battle here going on in the middle of the map. These Storm Pioneers doing good work, and this squad is in danger of being wiped actually, and it is wiped. So xi2xi there, scoring a squad wipe, able to take this building, and they're going to start pouring fire out there. Oh, and the Lig also scoring good hits. These damaged rear echelons are probably going to want to fall back, and they do. Pardon me. Seems like the initial stages of the battle going the way of the Overcommand. xi2xi, he's down on victory points, but he's taken a good fight here, forcing the majority of the American forces back. CaptainSPrice out of manpower, so reinforcing those squads going to take longer than it might usually. We've got a Lig, reasonably early Lig, not that early. So yeah, coming out. Of course, the changes to the suppression profile on the Lig means that it deals more consistent suppression now. So we'll see how that changes. Also, Veterancy 1 no longer gives it the hollow charges, which it used to get, the sort of anti-vehicle charges. That was a terrible ability, basically never saw use. So instead, it now gets 15% extra range at Veterancy 1. Now that's just for the main gun and for the barrage. So I'd quite like to see that. I'd quite like to see what that does for its range. I mean, its range is already decent, the line. So that'll be good. CaptainSPrice now up to an almighty 8 squads of rear echelon troops, 4 of which have BARs, so quite pokey. There's a captain out who has 2 bazookas. Here he is, just capping a point here. And there's also a 3/4 ton ambulance, which at the moment is very defensively positioned. I'd kind of like to see him maybe hide that here or something. That'd be a really useful spot for it. Oh, that's right. There has been a change to the 3/4 ton ambulance. Now, this healing package is just a toggle on, toggle off. It used to be activate for 30 seconds and it had a cooldown, I think. Now it's just toggle on, toggle off, so that's going to make life a lot easier for USF players. I really, really support that change. As we move into the sort of 8.5 minute mark, just coming up now, neither player's chosen a commander. Sensible stuff there from both of them. Looks like we've got the starting 3 for xi2xi, sorry. And I imagine he'll go for either Luftwaffe ground forces, or if he feels like it, breakthrough doctrine, which is a strong one to choose. But usually if you're going to go for breakthrough, you take it before now, so that you get maximum benefit out of your Storm Officer and those Panzer Fusiliers. Both potent units, but both definitely, I would say, most potent in the early game. Massive push of rear echelon troops from CaptainSPrice here. Going to try and break the line here, and there's a chance that they could get through to the line, which is fairly close by. It's just sort of to the right of this screen here. And another incendiary grenade going to be used here. Pretty much did nothing. I'm pretty sure a Model 24 grenade would have done a lot more there. Four of them able to retreat in good order. And is that another incendiary grenade coming down? That one doing a little more. Killed like 3 models, but again, I think a Model 24 grenade would have been pretty much the same there. To be honest, I kind of think that this incendiary grenade is going to function exactly the same as the old Model 24, unless you're throwing it into a building, in which case, you know, the people in the building have to get out pronto. Going to see the Schwerer Max Schlepper deployed here. Now that has been scouted by CaptainSPrice, so he knows the tech choice for his opponent, and he also knows the positioning on this gun. Pardon me. I do like the positioning on this gun. It's going to cover the fuel point here, it's going to cover a couple of points, and this choke here. Well, I say choke, this junction. So that's useful. Could have been more aggressive with it Could have put it here, but I think that's probably too aggressive. So yeah, quite like the positioning on that. Battle Group at headquarters, of course, the first Schweramax Schlepper from Z2Z. And how much fuel are we up to? So he's up to 60 right now. So we could see a Lukes, or he might hold on for a Panzer IV, Panther, maybe even a Jagdpanzer. Doubt we're going to see the Jagdpanzer though. If you're going to go for a Jagdpanzer, you don't tend to get the Schweramax Schlepper, sorry, the Schwerpanzer HQ at this time, and you tend to delay that. Scuffle developing around the map. We've got a Stuart on the way for CaptainSPrice. The scores now looks like kind of about 105 tickets, 125, sorry, there. Behind is Z2Z, so definitely in the deficit position, but at the moment capping middle back, so he's trying to do something about that. Now let's see, where's the Stuart going to go? Is it just going to come into mid? I sort of like just throwing it into mid. Very little anti-tank. There is a Rakettenwerfer just coming onto the field. Here it comes now, but that's going to be a while arriving, so the Stuart can do some work in mid. Maybe even take a dive and go for the Lig, although, to be honest, actually, the Schwerpanzer HQ has that covered, so that's not going to play. Here come the rear echelons. Almost all of these squads now, only 2 don't have a bar, the rest do, so pretty punchy squads. Of course, once they get to 2-star veterancy, they can have that 5th squad member, so that's pretty good. Stuart's going to be deployed to the south and going to push back these Volksgrenadiers, enabling a capture on this munition point for these rear echelon troops. I am loving the style here from CaptainSPrice. These these rear echelon troops, this strat is quite good. Here's a light gun that's not wanting to be there. That may go down. CaptainSPrice would be wise to focus it. It's going to make it out of there. And Z2Z kind of up against it right now. He's at 44 supply under the 52 of CaptainSPrice. He is floating he's floating 500 manpower, so he could do something with that manpower. I'd love to see him reinforce this lag as well. Casting some good shots into that squad. It does now have 1-star veterancy, so let's look at its range. That is pretty commanding. I mean, that's good range. I like that. Here comes the Stuart. The Panzerwerfer has that covered though. Takes a hit from the Werfer and it's going to get out just over here actually. It's going to help these rear echelons take care of these guys. Now it does have a hull mounted MG, so I'd love to see him just turn it. There we go, now he has both MGs in arc, able to fire at those Volks. I wonder if he's going to move the Panzerwerfer over, sorry, the Rakettenwerfer over here and just try and take a shot. Uh-oh, I don't like this. It's surely going to take a hit. It's in arc. Oh, it's just not in line of sight. Took a shot, but a little too late there and missed. Big push on the right flank here for Z2Z, who's going to push out with 2 squads of Volks and some Storm Pioneers. The metal detector, mine detector, is on for the Storm Pioneers. That's going to be useful. I'm not sure if there are any mines out there, but the funny thing is, all of rear echelon squads, you know, they're the mine layers for the American forces. So there's 8 squads out there that can lay mines. CaptainSPrice he's low on munitions, but he has enough for mines. I believe they cost 30 for the Americans. Let me just check that. Oh, maybe they can't lay mines. Do Americans just not get mines? Oh. That's... American forces don't have mines? That is news to me. I didn't know that. That doesn't seem right. Maybe another squad lays them? Surely riflemen don't lay them. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to have to look that up. I think America is like my least played as force. I just don't really like playing as America. They're a good team, and when you're feeling like, if you've just had two coffees or something, yeah, definitely play as America, because they are all about being constantly active with all your units and being like the king of micro. And if you're in that zone, they're really good. These Storm Pioneers going to be pushed back. Rear echelon troops really pushing like across the breadth of the map. Nice dispersal, nice distribution of forces. And that's something you can do when you've got 8 squads of rear echelon troops. And I believe, how much unit cap is a squad of rear echelon troops? Let me just check. So a squad of rear echelon troops is only 4 unit cap, which is epic. So these 8 squads here, they're only taking up 32 unit cap. I mean, I'm pretty sure even Ostrogren are 5 unit cap, so... And rear echelons are way better than Ostrogren. I mean, they've got BARs, and they go up to 5 men once you get the 2-star vet. And at 3-star vet, they get what? Squad survivability and weapon control. At 3 stars, I think they are a proper fully fledged combat unit, because that's a durability and defense increase at that level. So anyway, Z2Z, 228 tickets behind now, and that's going to be a concern for him, as he doesn't hold any of the victory points at the moment. He's going to have to spread his forces Well, it's up to him. Does he spread and go for a kind of split push on all three, or does he just go for one? The forces of CaptainSPrice are going to make it difficult either way, because CaptainSPrice is able to maintain a presence right across the map, which makes a split push very difficult. But if xi2xi just focuses all his forces and goes for 1 or 2 points, well, that's not immediately going to stop the score deficit. And CaptainSPrice can just go for a wraparound concave with all his with the distribution of his forces by bringing them around. So that's it's a tough position for xi2xi to be in. It almost makes me wish that he tried to deploy his Schwerverbach Schlepper right here or something, because that at least would give him a firm anchoring on one of the command points. And if we look at the forces for CaptainSPrice, he doesn't really have a lot that could answer that. He doesn't really have like an anti-tank gun or something that can attack ground at long range, so it would force another unit out from CaptainSPrice. Stuart just relocating to where it's going to do the most. These Volks Grenadiers very damaged. They're going to get the capture and they need to get out. There they go. Do we have the forward fallback point research complete? No. Not much point in that, I suppose, because it would only be saving him about, like, 15 meters there or something. So, yeah, look, I'm loving the distribution of units from CaptainSPrice. Finally having some success in the south, though. xi2xi going to grab an all-important munitions point and, of course, the victory point, so that's great. And Panzer IV entering the field, and that's probably going to force a response out of CaptainSPrice, who is floating 170 fuel. Now, I don't believe he's purchased his major yet. No, that is not something he's gone for. So he's going to have to take on this Panzer IV with anti-tank guns and bazookas, rather than with armour of his own, I suspect. Although, sorry, no, he has chosen the armour company commander, which means that he does have the Wolverine, and one of those has just been called in. So he does have an armour dancer to the Panzer IV. We'll see how that fight goes down when they start matching up. But the Panzer IV is going to be able to chew through these rear echelons. They don't have bazookas, they don't have anti-tank grenades, they never get access to anti-tank grenades. So that's going to be really good. And I think if you're using your Storm Pioneers in an aggressive role here, you have to press H and just tell them to put that metal detector away, because that would add another 50% to the offensive capability on this squad, and that would make a difference in this fight, believe me. So needs to put the metal detector away there, and that could have made a difference. MG42 upgrade has been purchased with Panzer IV, which is now going to come in behind this rush of rear echelons here, and they're going to fall back immediately. Now that he knows where the Panzer IV is, I wonder if he's going to bring the M10 in. Where is the M10? It is here with no vehicle crew in it.
Tank destroyer ready.
Slightly confused about that.
M10 tank destroyer ready.
And another M10 has just been deployed, so going up to 2 M10s to counter the Panzer IV threat seems good. Infantry skirmishes going on around the map. The Panzer IV is really good for now, until these M10s get together and start trying to take it down. Oh, wow, getting a squad wipe even. Wherever this Panzer IV goes, it's going to be able to displace the main infantry force. I mean, the only thing it has to worry about infantry-wise is the captain here. And he's all the way on the other side of the battlefield, so no danger there. Up to 4 squads of Volks at decent levels of veterancy for xi2xi as well. So, although he is still hemorrhaging points, if he can just stabilise, I think he's definitely in with a shot here. He's floating a ton of manpower. He could start spamming Oversold up. He's going to spend some on some Fallschirmjägers, that's fair enough, but I would love to see him get some Oversold out. And here comes the play. The Panzer IV is in play, which it has to be to take care of these rear echelons, but now in comes 2 Wolverines, the stun shot on the Stuart, and this is a textbook Panzer takedown from CaptainSPrice. Use the abilities on the Stuart, come in with your M10s. The Panzer IV didn't stand a chance. Now, that fight could have looked differently if the Panzer was supported, and that's going to be the GG, and you can't blame xi2xi there. He's so far behind on score. This Panzer IV was pretty much his only hope, and with that taken out, that is pretty much game. He could have fought on a little while there, and there's small odds on him stabilising and coming back, but those are small odds. So there's the GG from xi2xi. That takedown on this Panzer IV, absolutely textbook. The Stuart and the 2 M10s being used in concert there to produce a fantastic kill. Really, really good to see that. So, yeah, at the end of that battle, from the point of view of the changes to the game and the impact that they've had from the recent balance patch, not so much really showing up in that game. Yeah, a couple of the incendiary grenades were used from the Volks, and that was nice to see, but I think in this game they didn't have any difference in effect than what the regular Model 24 would have done, and I think one of the throws would have been better if it was the old Model 24 grenade, because 4 rear echelon troops escaped with barely any health, whereas I think that the Model 24 would have killed like 2-3 of them, and then the rifles would have probably killed that last guy. There's even a chance the Model 24 would have just gotten a squad wipe there. But then again, I think it's really against Soviets that we'll see the main change. Soviets and Brits, who like to put machine guns in buildings a lot. I mean, obviously you don't see that from America, so that's where the incendiary grenade is really going to shine. So hopefully I can cast a game between Overcommand and either Soviets or Brits coming up. That would be nice. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much again to IIPLIICaptainSPrice, providing yet another entertaining game. And we'll probably see more of him. He seems to be a very active player in the community, so that's cool. Thanks very much for watching. This is Magpie842 signing out.